Just a quick update to show the latest thing I made. I'm gonna get rid of this light just because it's a little bit crazy looking. Um, I was using the leftovers from my anemone sweater that I showed in my last video, and I was using these scraps to make a purse for a friend's kid. So this is from the pattern Brilliant Bags, and it's a very fun, I feel like it's kind of an old PDF pattern that's focused on freeform colorwork designs where there's templates, but then you kind of choose what to fill the space with, and then you do garter ridges to show where to kind of like fold the purse. Um, this currently has a backing pinned to it, so I had this leftover cotton fabric. It's a little droopy, but you get the idea, that I'm about to sew onto this. Um, but it was super fun to make, very easy. I blocked this, and it's gonna fold up. I'll show you what it will look like. It's going to fold up like this and be a little purse. I especially really like this little section here that has this gradient. I really love this version of the rainbow with these cool tones, blues, greens. That's a purple, though it really looks pink in this light, and then hot pink. So that's what's gonna be. I will update with the finished product. All right, so here's the update of what I used my leftover anemone sweater yarn for. This is the little bag I made. And this was very much like trying this pattern for the first time. So it is messy and imperfect for sure, but the cool thing about the pattern is that with this pattern I can make like drawstring bags, backpacks, all with the same pattern. It's one of these like old patterns that they don't give you a lot, but they give you a lot of options. I'll try to like write the description of it or rather write the name of it in the description. But I sewed the lining on very messily. Could definitely have been better because I didn't quite understand how I was binding it together. But basically, you sew on the lining, and then when it's opened out before you've sewed it, you then fold it up, and then you actually pick up stitches all the way around, all the way around, all the way around the flap as well. So that didn't really work for me, and I'll have to talk about why. But I think actually I should have picked it up from around the square, but instead I picked it up around the flap, which made a really big loop, but was wrong. So you're supposed to pick up all around these two sides, sorry, these three sides, 1, 2, 3, and then here, and then knit a few rows, and that actually seals the bag really in a really great way. So it holds together the bag, and then it also creates this really nice edging when you bind off. So that was really cool. I ended up, because I didn't quite get it, I picked up the stitches, then realized that created a really taut edge that was making this triangular flap bunch inward. So I had to undo this part, and instead I actually braided some yarn and put them through the picked up stitches. So I now have I actually really like what this looks like, but it is definitely not correct for the pattern. And then I just braided some yarn and sewed a loop. So that was how I did the button loop. And if I make another one, I'll probably try to follow the pattern more correctly. There are really good instructions for making, this was kind of the biggest button possible, but making this kind of like bobble button. So I did that. That was picking up stitches, and then you essentially are knitting a tube and stuffing it and binding off. And then I knit an I-cord for a little handle. So that is the bag for my friend's daughter that I made with my leftover yarn from the anemone sweater. I'm just gonna button it back up, and there we go. Little update. I wanted to show some felting projects that I've got going on. A couple are old ones, and one is just one I made today. So this is a red felted bracelet. I may have shown it before, but it's made out of merino wool. And it's pilling a little bit, but super fun to make. You can see the red a little better against my white shirt. It's a very vivid, both neither warm nor cool kind of red, really nice true red, which I really love, and just really awesome. I'd love to make a few of these in different colors. Kind of the colors I'm wearing on my shirt are some of my favorite colors, so cool to make some of those. Along those lines, a coaster I made out of wool roving, also merino wool. I was trying to make kind of a gradient. You can also kind of see it better, but it didn't really turn into a gradient. It's more a little bit blocky, but I still really love these colors. The back is just royal blue, and this just sits next to my sewing machine, and I have like a little pitcher with pens and stuff in it, and it's just fun. It was the first thing I've ever felted. Love it. And then today I made a book kind of envelope. I love it so much. With a resist. So it actually started on this side. This, I put on a very thin layer of merino wool, white merino wool, and then the web of color you see here is actually a silk handkerchief that had been dyed. I did not dye it. My friend had it, and I used it. And I put that over on top of the very thin layer of wool. And then I backed it with this white wool that you see. I'll turn it inside out in a second. So the top layer is silk, the underlayer is white, and then on top of is white wool, and then I put a plastic resist that was the size of this bag, and turned it over, and then felted this side by placing this gradient of wool. So I kind of drew inspiration for the colors of this side from the dyeing here. It's very subtle on this side, but you can see there's kind of a reddish purple that goes into a blue green, and then a purple up here, and then some green and yellows and oranges here. So I thought I'd pick up those colors on this side, and I love how this side turned out. So I thought in terms of similar gradients and colors, it's a red purple. Sorry, this lighting is kind of wonky, but a red purple over a more orangey red into some orange and yellowish fibers here, and then I love these colors, these like aquas, teals, royal blues, some darker purples. And what I love about this side, I don't know if it will be clear, but some of the yellow fibers kind of went into the blue fibers and the green fibers, which creates like a really beautiful complementary color effect here. So basically I felted the plastic piece inside of this kind of 2-layer wool pad and sealed it. So it was felted, there was a plastic piece inside of it, and once it was felted, I actually cut open the top here, where now it opens into a bag, took out the plastic piece, and then continued to felt it. And that's how I made this. On the inside, this was unintentional, but inside out, I think it also looks really cool. I'll show the less exciting side first. So this side, this is the white backing behind the kind of like silk cobwebby part. It's gray and white wool. It looks kind of cloudy. There's this interesting darker spot here that it must have been some darker wool that got in there. But then the back of this, the more vividly colored side, I love it. It's so cool. This was totally just a happy accident, but I love the yellow against this blue. It's just so stunning and amazing. It's also the perfect size for a book. I don't know if I'll keep this side out more or if I'll keep this side out more. This is technically the side I intended to have out, but this is also just a different look that is so cool. So anyway, I absolutely love it. That's my felting update. All right, well, it's the first warm day and my window's open, so there might be some traffic noise, but I have, right on cue, but I have some projects. So the first is a little felting project I've done. I'm gonna actually throw on this light so it can be better seen. This is a coaster I felted with some wool roving that I got myself, not my friends, which is super fun. And then I also felted this laptop bag for my apartment mate. But the issue with this is that there are thin spots in it. It's a little hard to see as I'm holding it up here, but there are multiple parts that are thin enough that they're actually almost sheer. So I started by trying to deal with that through some mending, reinforcing it with this embroidery floss mending, but that isn't really sufficient. So I think I'm gonna have to either felt over this or needle felt it to make it thicker and larger. But that is project number 2. I'm realizing there's a couple things I'm actually gonna have to bring in. But the next thing I've been working on, this is my first intarsia project, and it's the Floro shawl by Florence Spurling. And I'm knitting it with silk wool yarn that my friend actually spun for me. So this is the beginning of it. Oh no, honking. It's going to be blue, white, and green. This is the very start. It's my first intarsia project. This back part is quite overwhelmingly messy. But here's the blue yarn. I got silk wool roving on on Etsy, and she is spinning it for me. There's the white yarn, and here's the red yarn, and you can see a little bit of the green in there as well. So that's a fun project I'm going to keep doing and keep learning intarsia through it. I have a couple other things I've been working on. I'm going to bring them in and record another clip. Okay, the first other project I've done is some embroidery. So this is a backpack I got that was my friend's childhood backpack, actually, that she didn't need anymore, so she gave it to me to use. And the first thing I did was reinforce the straps, kind of just free-form kind of mending with embroidery floss. So this one was the first attempt. I actually put a patch back here and sewed over it kind of messily, and then I realized I could do this kind of frame where I did vertical stitches here, horizontal stitches here, and then actually stitched kind of into the stuffing of the strap to hold everything together. And this is now quite secure. And then having figured that out, I basically just did the same thing on this side without all the patching and that kind of thing. Besides that, I realized that I could just do whatever I wanted with this backpack, and so I just started to do some like free-form embroidery on the pocket. So I did a free-form embroidery on the pocket. It goes all the way to the back here. Just a red diagonal was the first part, that kind of zigzag stair pattern, and then I just kind of built on it with the embroidery floss I had. I might keep going embroidering random things on this backpack if I want to, or I might just leave it at that and embroider some other things. But I got a bunch of embroidery floss from my mom, and I was excited to just do something with no pattern and just go for it. The other fun thing I have acquired, this is some silk roving from Rag Hill Farm. It's 0.6 ounces. And I'm going to take it out because it's so soft and beautiful. It is this beautiful teal color. And it is so soft and sticky, as silk is usually. It's this beautiful teal. This is technically what's called a silk hanky, where I think it all comes from the same cocoon, and this is actually a single thread that's been dyed, and it can be pulled off in sheets, and you can felt sheets of this silk kind of web into things. But my plan for it is to actually spin it into threads, or I guess yarn, at some point and knit something really beautiful and delicate with it. Maybe a lace of some kind. But it's very soft and really beautiful. So those are my kind of projects. There's a lot of teal and red going on. Okay, in my usual highly informal style, I'm just firing off what I've done. So the first thing is actually what I'm wearing. So I dyed this shirt. This was a white shirt. I think I got it at like Target or something. And I don't know, I just have I have two other white shirts, and this one is like, it was getting, I don't even remember if it was getting like yellowed, but I had this half bottle of indigo dye, and I just decided to give it a go. I had used indigo dye to dye a corduroy shirt for my mom, and so I decided to use it on this. I absolutely love how it turned out. There's some like slight irregularities, but it looks really cool, and for some reason the seams didn't dye, which I think is so cool looking. So that was super neat. And the other, I also got these pants at Target and I love them. The other big update is that I've been using this silk wool hand spun yarn that my friend has been spinning for me. It's like lace weight. Ignore the sirenette side. There's white, blue, red, and green. So I've been using these, and I have been making an intarsia shawl. And this is what it looks like so far. Wah, with all these spindles in the back. But this is what it looks like so far. This is the Floro shawl by Florence Spurling. I'm going to show the insane state of the back soon. But you can see it looks like garter stitch. The white is getting like really blown out, but here, I'll hold it against this. I think it's going to be so cool when it's done. But it is, yeah, white, green, and red. There's kind of what kind of ends up being almost like a lacy and like edging to it. That's like a basically stockinette edge here, and then the rest is just like garter stitch, and it's like just color charted the whole way. It's an abstract floral pattern. I think it's gonna look so cool. Now for the back. So I bought 6 intarsia spindle things. One of my makeshift spindles just fell. I bought 6 of them, but quickly realized I was going to need more. So I had a bunch of leftover holy cards. And so I've actually been using a collection of spindles that look like this. I guess these are also called bobbins. These are like plastic bobbins. And then I've also just been using like some random cards as bobbins. So the back, you can see the ends here, is a total mess, but it's been very fun. It goes really fast. I think a mini shawl is about as much as I would want to make with my first intarsia project, and also using this yarn. The yarn is really good, but it has irregularities in it because my friend is also a new spinner. So sometimes it's like almost thread-like, and other times it's more like a fingering weight yarn. So anyway, that is the project update. I wonder if I come closer if it will focus on it. Oh yeah, you can kind of see it. This is the edging I was talking about. I think that's just because the yarn, oh there, you can see it, yeah. Because the yarn is so thin, when I increase and kind of like pick up a stitch, it makes kind of a like a little lace edge, which is cool. So, but all in all, I think it's really striking and really cool. So those are the crafting updates.